Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. In the previous episode, we began day 2 of the trial, not knowing who Acolyte Zeh'Lot was, and turns out it was a different monk with a different name. So it was a different identity, but now we're back to the divination seance. So let's begin with Rafa's insight. The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the Wright. The pattern on the plaza's ground was visible in the darkest. Then someone was there, and the theme to the plum punisher filled the air. Why you had to make this rhyme? The accused held the victim down and plunged her dagger into his upper back. The blade struck true, and not in an instant. What the heck did I just do with the... Oh, there you go. That is everything the disease experienced in his final moments. Her benevolence insights have painted a detailed picture both vivid and true. I didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. I'll just have to go over each and every disease sensations very carefully. We'll be right back. I need to charge my 3DS real quick, so hold on. Okay, now we're back, so let us begin. Okay, what do we got? That weird fruit that makes people sleep, plum, punisher theme, heavy, then pain. Okay, what are our options? The victim was offering up his prayers. True. It was the night of the Wright. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza ground was visible. I thought he was killed during the daytime. Then someone was there, and the theme to the plum punisher filled the air. The accused had the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. Defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck? The blade struck true, and in that instant he departed from this world. Cause of death: spinal cord injury, stab wound in his neck. From 4 yeah, it's really that dark now. Cause of death: 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. It was the night of the Wright, though it's dark. The pattern of the plaza ground was visible. I get it! I get it now. I get it. The accused had the defenseless knife down and plunged her into... Trying to think what it is right now, that's all.
Objection!
That is not it. Hold up. That is not it. What am I supposed to press? That is not it. Oh, great. It was the second statement. Great. That's just great. That's just great. Like, really, it's like, I know what I'm doing, but it's just, I'm not clicking the right thing. But I know what I'm doing, it's just, that was not the right part. Alright.
Objection!
There you go. It's like I have this state of mind going on. Was it really the night of the Wright?
What do you mean? It could not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolytes out after killing the High Priest during the purification rite.
The only problem is, the disease spirit does not corroborate with that.
What's this?
Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says... I have no idea. I would say ginger. Ginger ale. I don't know. Acolyte Zeh'Lot shouldn't have smelled any ginger on the night of the rite. I'm gonna say ginger because I cannot even say that word. Ginger ale. I don't know. What do you mean? Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled ginger ale on the night of the freaking night. I'm guessing it's this because we don't have the food ourselves.
Take that!
To be frank, you're such a stinks offense. Come on! That is not it! What the heck? I thought it proved something about, like, oh, the backstory of the freaking food that they had the night before. So, that's what I was thinking right there. No, the fact that the victim smelled ginger is extremely important. It's important because the smell shouldn't have been present at the night of the rite. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled. I would... Come on, the charger! I'm supposed to show the statement. Great. I have the right like I said, I have the right idea, but I'm not clicking the right one. That's the thing. The statement. Photo was taken during the blessing. Where it's customary to partake of the dishes made by Ginger. These dishes are prepared and must be finished by 3 p.m. the same day.
Take that!
Let me fix the charger real quick. The High Priest's wife, believe Emmy told me about the Feast of Blessings. Alright. The feast includes a number of ginger-based dishes, and they are only supposed to be served at a certain time of the day before the rite. Why, I believe you're right. I completely forgot about that. During the feast, the unique smell of ginger pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 p.m. the day before the purification rite. And why am I showing it like this?
I am not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite.
Oh, right. I taught her about that yesterday. Forgive me, your benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change.
What's this?
She is a teenager after all. Like, if a body was kept cold, the slow rate of decay makes the death seem more recent. Why, I believe I've heard something of that sort. If it is as Mr. Wright claims, the estimated time of death and the autopsy report will be revised. Updating the court record.
Barbhead, you! Blinded me with science!
You were interested last time. Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for?
No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the riot. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused prints on its incontrovertible evidence. I will now amend my insight to account for the new truth.
Excuse me. It was the afternoon of the day before the riot, though a bit dark, the pattern of the plaza was visible. Okay.
This time of the death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible. Nick?
A change in time of death is bound to cause some sort of inconsistency. If I had something that showed what it was like on that day, I could help. Okay, what else to investigate? Jinjo? Plum Punisher theme. Heavy. Alright. Though it was a bit dark, the pattern on the plaza ground was visible. That someone was there, and the theme filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. Okay, please tell me if do I have to click on the... Okay, this is what I'm thinking right now. This statement and heavy, because he could just fall asleep from that point. He could possibly fall asleep at that point after smelling that freaking ginger. So let me double check. Statement 2. Not that part. Just statement. We're not there yet. What the heck?
Objection!
Alright. Because I'm a fool and a noob without any clear smart process in his brain. The change in the time of date, the date and time of the crime, has caused a new inconsistency to surface.
What's this? Ah, you are making that irritating face again. Cease that at once.
Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. Now, let's focus on what is important. What the victim saw in his final moments.
Do you have bats in the belfry, Barbhead? There is nothing to see. The ground of the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes.
And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the riot, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground. What the heck? Jets vs. Bills, watch the NFL Thursday night? What the heck? Twitter, why do you pop out of nowhere? Impossible, you sir, do you explain? This piece of evidence shows why the plaza's ground was not visible that day.
A piece of evidence that shows the plaza was not visible on that day? What am I supposed to press? What am I supposed to press? What am I supposed to press?
Was not visible that day. Please tell me it's a photo. Please tell me it's the photo. Please tell me it's the photo. Please tell me it's a photo. Let me check. Newspaper? What the heck?
Take that!
I'm not thinking at all now, am I? This newspaper has an article that is tiny in size but huge importance. It says that the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the riot.
What?
But I would never have thought of that. The victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground. Exactly. And so we must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments? No.
If you have something to say, then say it!
The last thing the victim saw was not the ground at the Plaza Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere!
What?
What? What? Pokukana, whatever. Then why do you propose the victim was actually killed?
Yes, tell us where, otherwise your argument is worthless.
About that... I hadn't gone into that part yet.
Any ideas, Maya? Let me think. Well, it's somewhere green and shaggy, right?
Right, but where could that be?
What is it, Barbhead? Giving up already?
Not at all! Now, where have I seen something green and shaggy? This shows where the victim was killed. That was green and shaggy.
Take that!
The secret hideout the rebels were using.
The rebel hideout?
So if he was not facing down, then he was standing up.
There was no such place anywhere on the floor on that chamber.
You're absolutely right. There's no place on the floor anyway. And what did the victim see in his final moments if not the floor of the rebel hideout? This is what the victim saw in the final moments. It would be anything green, right? Because
Take that!
the shaggy green surface the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. Oh, I did not see the handprints. As you can see, there are two distinct I don't remember seeing those just in yesterday's episode. What the heck? I don't remember the process, really. There are two distinct hand-shaped impressions on the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab. That does agree with the seance vision. However, one cannot definitely declare they are one and the same. I concur. There's no proof that a murder occurred in the rebel hideout.
Indeed, without evidence, do you have this?
I've already shown you the evidence. What do you mean? Please take a look at this second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the results of the liminal test I performed in the rebel hideout. This is proof that someone had been bleeding in front of the stone slab. It's true! This information has already been provided to the police. Detective Sky, to whom does this belong to?
We thought it was the High Priest's blood that flowed outside, so we haven't tested it yet.
Then you must do at once.
Yes, Your Majesty.
A few minutes later, after testing, we're back at it again. It appears the police have finished testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please. Is the dog barking again?
The blood found in the rebel hideout belongs to pure Zeh'Lot, just like the defense claims.
Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me?
When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber.
There, I will deliver a joyous sermon onto you for 8 hours straight. Oh no.
I'm really sorry, but please, anything but that! Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is the chance we've been waiting for?
Yep, it would seem so. I had to do this to Emma, but...
Go for it. It's full speed ahead.
The victim was killed in the rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then, his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So, when we thought we saw Acolyte Zeh'Lot praying during the rite, he was already dead. We thought he was praying. And that's not all. If he was killed at the inner sanctum, that would explain one more thing. And that would be? How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was. The proof of which was left behind at the sanctum. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. I got nothing right here. Imprints, inner sanctum photo.
Take that!
Do you truly believe that could affect the estimated time of death? And why not? What did I just do? Great! Wrong photo I pressed. Great, we're down to 2. Probably in the next episode I'm gonna waste those last 2 and we can start fresh, because I'd rather not do it again. I pressed the wrong button. Okay, what exactly am I pressing? Inner sanctum photo. Great.
Take that!
Come on! Handprints! Inner sanctum photo! There's no other word, you bad translator! You freaking bad translator! Oh, this one.
Take that!
What? These are photos of the inner sanctum. Now I feel stupid. I like to focus on this one. The proof is right here in this photo. This is how the time of death was made to appear later than it was. Do you see how the snow was removed from this spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. And that's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed. The time was mistaken, and the place too? And just what do you believe that proves? That my client is innocent. What of her fingerprints on the dagger? And the Plum Punisher theme the victim heard? Oh, I got it! You have failed to address those two keys of evidence. I see your point. Wasn't this your big chance, Nick? I'm really hoping that difference in the location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you. Actually, that might be possible, at least for one of them. Really? What's this? You say you contradict our argument for the key of evidence? Very well, let us see you try. Nick, take a good look at the rebel hideout photo. Oh! The feds can invalidate this piece of evidence. We have to press this. The Plum Punisher theme? And how do you intend to support such a claim? Since the murder happened in the rebel hideout, there is something there that played the theme song other than my client's strap. It wasn't a strap. Is this true? The item that played the Plum Punisher theme song was this.
Take that!
This is the Plum Punisher alarm clock. I believe the victim heard its alarm go off. What proof do you have the alarm went off?
Objection!
What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the theme song? Do not twist the facts with your lolly wiles. Either way, the accused would still be guilty based off of her prints on the murder weapon. And here is what really happened. Oh great, testimony revised. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the riot. That's about it. Though there had some twists and turns, that is the truth of what happened. I won't get anywhere until I can eliminate the dagger. Most impressive, your benevolence. I see no inconsistency anywhere in the prosecution case. No, there is one. What's this? You still claim there is to be an inconsistency? Heh, try as you might, the outcome will always be the same. Okay, what else is there? What else is there? The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the riot. Then someone was there, and the theme Plum Punisher filled the air. The accused plunged her knife to the defenseless victim's neck. The blade struck true, and the instant it departed from the world. Okay, point clock, statement 1. Water mirror 3, heavy feeling. Oh, that's wrong one. Okay. Okay, statement 1. Then heavy feeling, red color, bottom right.
Objection!
The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer. But he was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. So the question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come from? Yes, I see your point. Since the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down. And tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim? What caused the heavy sensation Zeh'Lot felt? Any thoughts, Maya?
I agree, that sense of heaviness seems important, but it's also the matter of Zeh'Lot's hands on the stone slab. Why were they even there?
Could it be related to the cause of the heavy sensation? Well, Mr. Wright, do you have an answer for us? Of course! If I just envisioned the state Zeh'Lot was in when he was killed. The cause of the heaviness the victim felt was... It was that one. It was that one. Because back then, it was almost about to fall. I think I remember. The only conceivable cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath. What?
Oh! The stone slab came falling down on him, crushing underneath?
Right. Oh, that was the cause of death?
Objection.
While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death, rather he was stabbed.
Oh, yeah.
Or do you claim the doctor was plunged in after the slab had fallen on him?
No! That's not it. I still believe it was the dang bird.
Plus, had the killer been behind the victim, they would have been both crushed together.
No, the stone slab pushed him to the freaking bird. Well, would you care to explain? Sure, I'd love to. That doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. But what if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was? Because like I said before, it was the freaking bird.
Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout.
But the entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab. There isn't enough space between the two to use any weapons found within. Yeah, there is not much space, but the entrance is there. So, what was the real murder then? I better think of something.
If the murder weapon wasn't the dagger, then the dagger must have been plunged into the victim after he was already dead. That means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy doesn't mention that.
Then he must have been stabbed in the same spot, something shaped like the dagger. Like I said, he was plunged by the freaking bird statue. Would the defense care to offer an explanation sometime this century? Wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Yes! Something that had a shape similar to the war-bought dagger? Yes! Turn to the defense, present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright. This shows what really killed the victim. And please tell me we have to present the freaking crime scene diagram. Diagram or the photo is one of those two things. Sanctuary picture. Sanctuary picture. Hey now, this guy is changing his stuff. Inner sanctum photo. Sanctuary picture. Oh, sanctuary picture. It's a rebel hideout. Hope for the best.
Take that!
The inner sanctum diagram. You believe the murder weapon is somewhere in the inner sanctum. This is what we really took prey whatever's life.
Take that!
But that is the
war-bard statue.
Exactly. The war-bard statue has dagger-like feathers protruding from it. That is what really took the victim's life. You imbecilic fool! The statue is outside the hideout. How do you propose to impale someone who was inside? Haven't you heard? The Warbard statue also functions as the hideout's door? What do you mean? The statue can pull a completely switcheroo. A switch-a-roo? To put it simply, it's a revolving door. A revolving door? Why, that makes perfect sense. Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination sense to be this. That's our freaking victim. Then, as he entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him, pushed him all the way there. He threw up his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Unfortunately, the Warbard statue was right behind him. So this proves he was related to the rebels. This cannot be! But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger! She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her prints got on. Gah! This is a shocking turn in events, but there's a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbard statue was what killed the victim. Added to the court record. Now that we know how Acolyte Zeh'Lot really met his demise, there's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick. How can this be happening yet again? The divination seance is the only truth. No, your benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. Do you understand now? Your kingdom needs lore so that they can interpret your insights. But that means I have been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time. Your benevolence! Are you unwell? All the color is drained from your face. I will be fine. Continue your proceedings without me. As you wish. And she disappears. We're almost there. We're almost there. I feel kind of bad for her. Now then, I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you have learned how that we know the victim actually died. Acolyte Zeh'Lot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. That means the body found at the Plaza Devotion was moved there by the real killer. But only after the Warbard dagger was thrust into him. To make it look like the murder weapon, that does seem to agree with what we know. But why would the real killer go to such lengths? I believe stabbing Acolyte Zeh'Lot's body to the dagger and moving into the plaza was a warning from the trial round, a run committed for fun to make it look like a serial murder. It's the last option, right? Yep. Hold up. It was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. That's right, the real killer planned all of this. The forged serial murder case. They did? That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away. Your reasoning has more holes in it than the cheese you foreigners so enjoy. What? Cheese? Dirt? Like those putrid whole riddle clumps of curds that only a rat like you could love. Your reasoning, much like your putrid whole riddle bread, as putrefied. What's his deal with things going putrid? You have yet to overturn my argument that accused is their killer. Carefully analysis of the chain of events up to the killing exposes the truth as follows. Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the rite.
But Acolyte Zeh'Lot had followed her there after noticing her suspicious behavior. Caught by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest. I've never been to the rebel hideout in my life! When the high priest arrived at the inner sanctum, the next day he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him.
I believe Prosecutor Sunmari has opposed a compiling scenario. Defense, on the other hand, has yet to disprove the accused's guilt.
Objection!
Why would my client move Acolyte Zeh'Lot's body to where everyone could see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into his dead body? She had no reason to do any of those things! The dagger in his corpse was likely a warning to the rebels. Something along the lines of Lady Kayla will slay the defiant dragons.
So that is why she moved the body to the plaza for it all to see.
Now he has the judge convinced too. I thought I finally made some headway.
Well, Mr. Wright, about time for one of your groans of distress, is it not?
Groan of distress? Not right now. It kills me to admit this, but I got nothing to counter his argument with. And I still haven't disproven the allegation against Maya.
Is it not time to end your futile struggle? You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that now awaits you, and doing so, finding no peace.
A dead lawyer walking, indeed. Then again, are not all lawyers who practice in Khura'in? But I must admit I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my statement. I had said the defense's reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell. But I now realize the stench was from his own putrid body on the verge of death. Now I'm a rotting zombie. Think, who could have killed Zeh'Lot the day before the Wright? Who knew about the rebel hideout and could have gained access to the inner sanctum? Only those involved with the Wright can enter the sanctum, so... Wait a second. Only a rebel would have known about the secret hideout. And the only person who was involved with the riot had access to the sanctum and was a suspect of being a rebel is... Did somebody come to my mind? To mind? Yes, except there's one huge problem. A huge problem? What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from this sacred hall? I would not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objection. If I don't do something, Prosecutor Sunmari will have this one in the bag. I'll just have to bluff my way out of this, regardless of the huge problem. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect for Priest's murder.
Objection!
Even the most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate life. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist. No, there is one person who knew everything.
Does such figure truly exist? Tell us, who might that be?
I believe the prime suspect in the murder is... Think! Now think. This happened the day before the case. So, the real only suspect... is...
Take that!
It had to be someone allowed to enter the sanctum, and who knew of the hideout. And that would be the High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the riot.
Talk to them!
You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well they'd tell no tales. Have you no shame? Dead men tell no tales. That is definitely a problem. If only the High Priest could tell his side of the story. What? Do I have something in my face? Wait a second. Could this actually work? No! Oh no, don't tell me I have some of my breakfast caught between my teeth. No, if there's even the slightest possibility, I'll have to go with it. Your Majesty! Dead men do tell tales! Therefore, I would like to request the High Priest's testimony.
His testimony? And just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify?
There's a way for the dead to testify. It's known as channeling. Summon him here by means of spirit channeling.
What did you just say?
Spirit channeling? Has this lord finally gone insane? The sacrilege. May the Holy Mother strike him down.
Peace! I am frankly astonished you even know of such a thing. But spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garen can perform.
Queen Garen?
Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform is our pleasure.
I'm suspected as much. That means our only hope is... Maya! It's okay, Nick. You can tell them. But Maya! I thought you wanted to keep it a secret here in Khura'in. Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precepts, so... I don't think we'll be punished. At least, I hope not. But this is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you become a master of Khura'in. We don't have any other choice now, do we? If I'm found guilty, it'll be a lot worse than that becoming a master of Khura'in. Alright, thanks Maya. Actually, there is someone here who is capable of channeling spirits. But even her benevolence, Princess Rafa, finds the divination stance to be challenging. Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she aside from the Queen? That would be me.
Peace, I say! Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling?
Well, yes. Yes, I can. Now, your majesty, we like your permission to begin. Your benevolence. This is an outrage! An outrage, I say! First, you make a mockery of the divination seance, and now spirit channeling? There you go. Still your voices! Barbhead, spirit channeling is a most sacred secret. Yeah, we know. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose? Yes, I am.
Your benevolence, are you saying you approve of their use of spirit channeling?
I will judge whether their claim is true. If this is but another of their lies, they shall be executed on the spot.
Very well then. Your benevolence, what if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit?
Do you truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits?
Oh, well, I want to be sure as I am responsible for the safety of all present.
Well, an inexperienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit. But do not fear, for I have a Magatama of parting. With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power.
That is a relief indeed.
These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let us not shirk from their challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their rights. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Sanmari? Perfectly, your benevolence.
Very well. The accused may channel a high priest's spirit.
And with that, we'll be ending up today's episode right here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to hit that like button and comment performance. If you're new, if you'd like to see, subscribe and Destructizix TV, and I'm signing out.